morning and welcome to an episode of Ranger Touring. This is the Big Red Bash episode. We've got our lanyards on and we're leaving Birdsville now and heading for Big Red. It was about 6:30 when we left and there's plenty of caravans on the road. I'll give you some tips throughout this video for getting in, getting your tickets and all that sort of stuff surrounding the Big Red Bash and what to do. But at the moment we're heading in, starting to see the dunes and looking forward to seeing Big Red. Tune in. So we're here now at the Big Red Bash. We got in 2 days early, so there's early passes where you can get in on the Sunday, and the event doesn't really start until the Tuesday. And when you get in, it's a big lineup. It opens from 8:30. Most of us sat in line for a couple of hours, and then from there you head in and you'll get escorted to sort of different lanes, and you'll get shown your campsite. So we're in a campsite of 3. You can jump across the campsites. You can make that space your own, but you got to stay within your lane of 3. This is what we're looking at. Swag. Families, caravan. We've got a fireplace. Car awning. And then the trailer fully set up. After setting up, we headed straight for the merchandise tent to pick up some merch. After that, we headed past the food vans back to the campsite to start playing a game of Finska.
Yes, stretch up. Stretch up, guys.
Limber up.
Gotta limber up.
Day 1, haven't done much today, just sort of chilled out. Went and hit up the food vendors for lunch, and now we're just heading to the top of Big Red, which is obviously the sand dune that this whole thing backs onto. Big Red is one of the 4 drive obstacles if you do some of the tracks down this way through the Simpson Desert. But for this, you're not allowed to drive over it. Once you're parked in the Big Red Bash, you turn your car off and that's it. It sits there, so you're gonna have power the whole time. But we're gonna head up, make a look at the awesome view. This is Big Red. Night 1. Sun's just gone down. Head up to the top of the dune. A bit of a climb.
So this is it, the beginning. And to start the beginning is one of the individuals that created this spectacular event. A welcome to the stage, Mr. Greg Donovan.
Thanks, mate. Who's looking forward to the next 3 days of fantastic Australian music, fun and games and family and friends? We've got a great program coming up for you. You're going to have one of the best times of your life here over the next 3 days. It really feels great to be back out here again.
Since when, well, is it when you were young?
First day's concert has started and it is full. Walk on Big Red between sets.
Steep.
How's it getting up there?
It's so much deeper than you realise.
Oh yeah, pretty much the whole area is filled out now. So we're in the third row, and the full round trip from where we're seated right at the front back to our spot in the third row is about a K. So it's a solid walk. That's why it really pays to get in early. And that's why, again, we pay for the 2-day early pass, so we could get in and get closer to the front. Otherwise, yeah, getting close to probably 1.5, probably even further almost, if you're in the worst spots. So Big Red, this is one of the tracks up. Tell you what, you want to hit that with some pace. It's a big hill, probably maybe 200 meters. All sand. Here at the Bash, there's a few tips that are kind of unique to this sort of place. So firstly, you've got to collect all your own water. You can't just dump water on the ground, otherwise this sort of dusty area would turn into a bit of a muddy pit. There's no power, so you've definitely got to have your own either generator, which you can run between 8 and 8, or you can do solar, which is probably a better option. Now, the next point is toilets. There is toilets here. They are a compost toilet, so no water is required, which is good. They've been pretty good so far, and they're always kept clean. All right, there's no ability to really pick up water, so you definitely need to bring enough water. We've packed 140 litres, plenty of it. Definitely didn't need that much. All right, so food. Look, there is options. There's food trucks, which you can get food from throughout the day, which is great. It is pretty expensive, and they only accept cash, so just keep that in mind. Other than that, you got to bring your own food. All right, fire. You can have fires here, which is really good as well. We've got kind of the leftover of one going from today. It doesn't need to be in a pit or anything like that. You can just dig out the sand. Bags of firewood available. They're $40 a bag, I think, off the top of my head. And then when you get here, you've got to pre-book that, and then the truck will drive down. You show them your tickets, and then they'll hand you as many bags as you need. And some people have been bringing wood in, which is totally fine as well. All right, probably the most annoying thing I've found so far at the Bash is the dust. Everything is going to get coated, so just accept that. But I mean, if you have a look, for instance, at this bench top, yeah, we could pack it away each day, but it's probably not worth it. We're just going to do a big clean at the end. But keep in mind that everything's going to get dusty, everything's going to get gross, and there's no real ability to have a shower unless obviously you've got a caravan that can do so. So just keep that in mind. All this sort of stuff just raises money for charity foundations, which is really good. Tomorrow's the Nutbush World Record attempt. They just had the drag race, which is where old people dress in drag and they sprint from Big Red down to the bottom, and then they do a bit of a fashion show as well. So where the actual concert is sort of the center area around the stage, and that opens up at a different time each day. For instance, today it's opening up at 12. Now, when those gates open up, it becomes a mad dash to get to the front to get good seats. And when you first rock up, you probably won't think it's that extreme, but if you rock up an hour late, you'll be right at the back of the line, and you'll be a couple hundred meters away from the stage, which is, neither here nor there. But if you want to get to the front, obviously get in line and make the mad dash.
We'll breathe together. Our hands will not be torn to hold another's. We were the special two, and we could only see each other. We'd bleed together. These arms would not we were the special two. Doesn't that sound familiar? Doesn't that lead to close to home? Doesn't that make you shiver? The way things could have gone. Doesn't it feel peculiar? And everyone wants a little more. And so that I do remember to never go that far. Did you leave me with the sky?
Great way to close out the 2022 Big Red Bash. Take care, get back to campsites, and we'll look forward to getting you all out of here in an orderly fashion tomorrow. Remember, there's over 4,000 campsites here. Thank you so much for being part of what has been the biggest, the best, the most epic Big Red Bash we've had.
So now we're heading out of the Big Red Bash. That's actually a wrap for this series. It's been great filming it. I've never been out to this part of the country, so I'm really appreciative and really awesome to see these sights. Big Red Bash was an absolute banger. Had an awesome time. The acts were all really, really good. Even if you don't really know too many of them, or only know some of them, you're still gonna have a great time. Just the performance aspect and the the showmanship of the whole festival is just excellent. Plus, it's pretty surreal sitting and listening to some rock music out in front of Big Red. So to anyone who's thinking about it, I would highly recommend this festival. It's not unachievable to come to. There is a lot of people out here camping with caravans, swags, camper trailers. There's a bit of everything. Obviously do your research, get prepared for it, and you'll have a great time. Thanks again for tuning in to Ranger Touring.